Looks good. Looks good. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. And I'm going to do a quick sound check.
Yes, I am.
Make sure my people on YouTube can hear us. Hey, people on YouTube, can you hear me and my guest?
Hey.
Hey.
Can they hear us?
And okay, here they come. Yeah, it's a little delay. Frederick Murphy, Brian Crosby, Socialism or Extinction. Audio's good, Tim. All right. My people, they in the house. All right, guys, thank you for tuning into another edition of No Sellouts. My guest tonight is a Georgia activist, a political analyst, and an all-around hellraiser. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend and yours, Stacey Hopkins. Give it up for Stacey, y'all.
Hey. What's good?
Man, everything.
I'm so thankful. I'm not a Russian. The only thing that's Russian about me is my vodka, and even that, I drink Tito's. Give it up, Tito's.
That's
like America. I mean, I really don't care for Russian vodka, but I'm a real person. And thanks for having me on, Tim. This is a blast.
Oh, man, thank you for making yourself available, Stacey. I've heard so many great things about you. Matter of fact, for like the last 6 months, I think, the first time I heard about you, people were saying you were a powerhouse. So since
I don't know about that. I'm just crazy, I'm not really that. I just really don't give a damn. And that's so empowering when you don't give a damn. And then add that you don't have anything to lose and you're black. I mean, come on now.
Right. I feel
what
you.
What have I got to lose? So it's very empowering and it's very easy to do. But there's nothing I do that anyone else can't do.
I feel you. That's such a healthy way of looking at it and like keeping yourself grounded. But, that makes you powerful, man. The fact that you got nothing to lose and the fact that you're like, I'm going to just speak my mind, that's so important. It's not something we get often when you talk about like political advisors, pundits, commentators. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you've got the status quo and no one likes the outliers, right? And no one likes those other voices, but it's very ironic to hear about, we accept diversity and, we want inclusion of new voices. And then when those new voices come, they're like, you know what? You just ain't fitting with the program. You ain't working out. So it's like, make up your mind what you want. And do you want me or do you not want myself and other voices like yours and other progressive voices? So it's kind of a hypocrisy.
Yeah, definitely. They want us, if we say what they want us to say, that's when they want us. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, but there are those who are not going to say that. And it's not, what's really frustrating is that they're not even listened to. We're not saying just add us into the dialogue because, I mean, what the hell are you doing? So it's been really, really interesting to see things that are going on, not just in the political, but also social justice circles. It's the same thing. It's a hot mess. It's just a hot mess everywhere, but it's fixable.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You know what? Some days I feel positive that it's fixable. Other days I'm not so sure. I just know I can't give up. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if I give up, I know nothing's going to change. But I don't, like, I try not to give people false hope. Like, I know we're going to fix all this crap because it's a lot to do. I think enough to do for like 2-3 lifetimes for real.
Well, yeah, it can get hard. And I mean, it's not like you have people working with you, it's like even if you wanted to help the Dems, I mean, they're the gang who couldn't shoot straight. I mean, they keep doing stuff and it's like, I can't even help you if I wanted to, everyone needs to just get it together and just breathe and organize because we've got a lot of good people with the right ideas. We're just running around and everybody's like, I got to do something. What do you want to do? I don't know, but I got to do something today. And it's like, you know what? Let's just chill a minute, just breathe and it'll be all right. And it's really hard out here to do that because I'm telling you, folks out here, they are just wild. Like they just woke up from like a 7-day meth binge and found out somebody took all their money. They're hungry, you know. I mean, it's like everybody needs to just chill and, you know, don't always be the first one to, you know, take some time to get in all the information before you have something to say. You know, not everybody has to be that first person to say something. Let's put more emphasis on getting it right. I mean, we just saw that with the Donna Brazile thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What do you like? You know that Donna Brazile is going to come on my show, so you know I'm prepping for that. And what I've done, Stacey, is like I told people, and I want to take this opportunity to remind everyone: if you got questions, including you, Stacey, for Miss Brazile, and you would like me to ask them, this is a community effort. You know, so. Please submit them. Send them to me. You know, you know how to reach me, but anybody else out there, tim@timblacktv.com, because what we don't want is to have this great opportunity for indie media to get an opportunity to speak with someone who's going through such a public issue at such a level, and then we miss opportunity to ask questions. And I definitely don't want anyone to say, hey, Tim, what about this? What about that? After the fact. Let's get that done now. That way we won't have any, you know, regrets. I don't want regrets. You feel me?
Yeah, absolutely. It's, you know, the Donna Brazile thing, for me, it's more of a personal thing, you know, being an African-American woman, seeing Donna Brazile come up through the political ranks and kind of using her as, you know, I mean, all of the women from Shirley Chisholm, you know, to Donna, you know, for women my age, you were our templates. And, you know, for me, it's hurtful to know that Black women in the party, particularly, knew things were going on against other Black people. And for me, that's all of that with the DNC stuff. That's just really, you know, I mean, that was like, okay, confirmation of what we already knew, but it was also confirmation of something that's hurtful to me, you know, as a Black woman, to know that y'all knew this was going on. And it's not just Donna, you know, it's everybody else who was in that chain. Y'all knew this and you said nothing. So don't talk about me about, you know, let her lead, you know, trust Black women, you know, and putting us in formation for candidates, and you don't know us, you got no love for us, and you just can't come for us every election cycle with this nonsense. You got to bring it. And if they're not going to do it, I mean, what am I supposed to do? You're going to hold me hostage?
Yeah, it's tough out there, man. I'll say this, like Donna Brazile, you know, of course, I have my own feelings like about Donna Brazile and what happened during the primaries and the town hall events where she passed the question to Hillary.
Oh, it was dirty. That was dirty. Crazy.
You know, and of course, you know, that's what I do. I make content. I respond to issues. And Donna Brazile was one of those people that, like, frankly, we had a lot of firepower for, like her, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Hillary Clinton, and a little niece Nancy Pelosi. You know, like those were the four people that received so much incoming. You know what I mean? Of course, you got your Tom Perez's, Cory Booker took a lot of heat. I mean, a lot of people took a lot of heat, but the Donna Brazile thing really bothered me because I'm like, she's in this position, and it seemed like she was kowtowing for Hillary, and that truly eats at my soul. You know, as a Black man, it eats at my soul, man. I don't even want to mince words. That really bothered me because I'm like, this establishment woman, she hurt herself trying to help Hillary, and I don't think it was worth it.
No, it wasn't. I mean, I kind of find it hard to believe. She said she didn't get paid, and I'm like, well, how's you eating? But, you know, I mean, okay, you know, so I'll buy that. But, you know, just to know that you participate in that, and while I give you some props for at least saying it now and taking partial ownership. I mean, she was on This Week on ABC, and she kind of gave a partial, you know, I'm sorry, which I think is a start for the Democrats to do. Democrats need to understand they are like you're like the partner that that keeps cheating, right? And when you get busted cheating and you want to come home, what's the first thing you say? You go, baby, I'm sorry. You know, open the door. You know, can we talk? Let's have some pancakes. Talk about it. They've got to apologize. You can't have this unity thing that they seek. You can't have it until you just got to own up to it, say you're sorry, make amends, try to atone for it, and just do better. It's really not brain surgery, but it's not a thing of messaging. But, you know, Brazile, for her to come out, I'll give her partial props, but even still, the whole thing was greasy. And it was like, okay, this confirmed everything that we knew. And we were told we were crazy. We were vilified. You know, we were persecuted online for it. And then what's stunning is to see the turnaround. Now, all of a sudden, Donna's a Russian now. So, I mean, it's like, I can't work with, okay, you know, you just can't work with folks like that. What are we supposed to do? So, you know, progressives were in the pickle. Well, not really, but.
Yeah. I mean, I get your point. Yeah, they were quick to go at that line with her that she's delusional. She's let the Russian propaganda get to her brain, or I don't know, some type of remarks. Very dismissive. Nothing like admitting, you know, yeah, this is a fact. In fact, I read the memo that Donna Brazile highlighted in her article, and I mean, I don't know. I think everyone else needs to read that memo, because when I read the memo, Stacey, and I don't know if you had a chance to read it. Look, you make a memo in September, you make a memo in August of 2015, and then you say, no, it doesn't apply until the general election. That to me was crazy. So why do it a year in advance? Like, why form a contract a year in advance if it's just for the general? So it just seems very deceptive. I do give Donna props for coming out and saying something. Only because this is me, Stacey. I feel like if we're going to punish people when they do the wrong thing and then punish them when they do the right thing, there is no incentive for them to do the right thing. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. There's no harm in saying, okay, you know, you get a cookie for this. Okay. But still, you messed up. You know, you were wrong. You know, I mean, the whole thing when you read it, and for those who have known, you know, that whole see something, say something kind of applies to the political and social justice circles, because we've seen stuff like this, and, you know, we're like, yo, these folks are greasy, you know, and they're doing stuff like that. Oh, don't pay attention to her. She's crazy. She's divisive. Because I get that now in Georgia, currently at this moment. But, you know, it's kind of, but these are the time. I don't think there's too many who are taking pleasure in being right. We're kind of frustrated because we're like, we told you so. We told you this. You know, I don't have a magic 8-ball. We're all reading tea leaves basically, but I mean, some of us have better intel than others apparently, and some folks, I don't know who they're talking to, but they're not your folks. And so it's really, really frustrating to see and hear, and it's heartbreaking to have it confirmed and validated what you always knew. And actually sometimes it's worse than what you thought. And that's how you get people who are jaded and disillusioned. They fall out of the political system, and then all of a sudden we got to get these people engaged for this election because it's so crucial. Well, stop screwing up and doing dumb stuff like this. Right. You know, so it makes it harder for everybody who's trying to do good work. And there are a lot of people who are doing good work, but we've got to stop being those ones pushing boulders uphill. And there's a lot of folks out here who have figured out that there is, you know, why should it's just like, you know, the medical field. Why solve, you know, why should I cure an illness when I can make money off of the cure? Or of treating the symptom. Yeah. So there's some folks out here who really ain't trying to fix nothing, you know, and worse, you know, and sometimes, you know, and I'm not saying everybody's doing that. So before y'all come at me on social media, understand if you doing right, you know, just pop your collar. That ain't about me. But folks Y'all know who I'm talking about, and there's a lot of people on the grassroots who know a lot, and we keep our mouths shut because we want to be in with the cool kids. Our funding is tied into it. Our political, ambitions or the work that we're doing is tied into it. So it's really, really, it can be tiring, and you just.
Well, look, based on what you just said. How can we criticize Donna Brazile if what you just said is a reality for people on the field? And even I'm not saying their contribution is any less, but they're not such visible roles, at least not on the national stage. If they can't stand up, how can you expect Donna Brazile to stand up in that situation? I mean, if you know for a fact that there are people looking the other way on other issues that don't even have this type of level of. Heck, man, if Donna Brazile disappeared tomorrow, wouldn't nobody be surprised?
But you know what? Here's the thing: if people like that won't stand up, then stand aside, push them aside, and you come in and say, "We got this," because we can no longer sit here and wait and ask the same people who haven't done anything, or it's like, "Can we have this?" No. Okay, I'm going to come back. Can I have it now? No. I mean, how many times are you going to keep asking the same people who told you no? And Julian Bond once said something very, profound. He was like, don't wait for somebody to pass you the torch. Go snatch it. Tell those, whoever, thank you for whatever you did, whenever you did it, whatever contribution you made, we appreciate it. We love you for it. But right now, I'm going to need you to go sit over here, and we got some new folks to come do that because, it's just not working out. And we got to stop waiting and asking for the people who are not going to give us what we want. And it's very simple to do. We've just been beaten down and intimidated and thought, we forgot where power really comes from and who wields it and how to wield it. And once we all get over mass, just national, let it out. Just let it all out. Be mad, point your fingers, call who, whatever, what, get it all out. And then when we come together and say, okay, you know what, we do have collective power. You're working on this, you're working on that. That's both something I want to work on. We work together. Then we'll start doing things. But like this, we are just all over. We're just tribes, 100 tribes wandering the desert for 40 years. And so I'm just waiting for everybody to get it together and then call me. Otherwise, don't.
Yeah, I love the way you put that.
I ain't that chick.
100 tribes wandering the desert for 40 years. Wow. Yeah. Speaking of tribes, in Texas.
But I'm a happy person.
Yeah. I feel you. It's a good point though. I mean, you're right. We need some organization. We need more leaders. But I'd like to switch gears just a little bit because when you brought up tribes, I got to thinking about what happens every time there's a shooting. It's like people run to their corners, man. Like what happened in Texas, guy goes into a church, he kills 20-something people. I think the number's been changing. I don't want to get the number wrong, but it's over 20 people.
I think it's 26 or 26. Something like that. And
a lot of those were kids.
I mean, I think one was 9 months old, a baby. But here's the thing. I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, another one. And then here's the madness. When we start, it's now taking its place as the largest mass shooting. And everyone keeps going up to reach this sort of pinnacle. And it's like, this is madness. But here's the point. It's madness that people like me have gotten to the point. What are we supposed to say and do? I've got my thoughts and prayers template. We just changed the names. If we couldn't do anything after over 20 white children were killed in Connecticut, I was like, they're never going to do anything. And I'm tired of hearing politicians saying thoughts and prayers. Do something. And, if you can't do anything, then all of y'all need to go, because you've got over half the country who says, yes, we want this. And I'm tired of hearing, well, it doesn't fit this one. It wouldn't have prevented this one, but it could have prevented something. And I'm tired of having these arguments with folks, about that. we're killing each other. And I mean, a gun has more rights than my body, than my vote. I mean, what the hell's going on? I mean, and so it's just sad. It's really sad. Where were the good guys in Texas? You know, they're supposed to be all, you know, Johnny and Belinda Blaze down there. Where was everybody in that? And it's a church. You can't go to church. You can't worship. I mean, if no one sees the insanity in that, and then to think that, well, the answer to that is to put more guns in church, you know, I mean.
Yeah. You know, if I'm not mistaken, I think a bystander or someone did intervene and shoot him a couple times, and then he took his own life. But, I mean, I get your point. You know, I used to be more like you on that issue, like a couple years ago. But now I've kind of moved a little bit because, like, I grew up in the hood, you know, and I've known people who a lot of my friends died in handguns, they were shot. You know, they didn't die of old age. They didn't die of terror attacks. They died from somebody on the block shooting them. So I was very negative about guns, but as I got older and I started becoming more aware, I also recognize the fact that sometimes people do need to protect themselves. You know, if you're a single person, if you're coming home late at night and you feel like you need a gun on you and you live somewhere where you can have a gun, who am I to tell you can't have that gun? You know, it gets tricky when you look at it from that perspective. But I don't agree with all the talking points. Like they always use Chicago as an example. There's a lot of reasons for violence in Chicago. Most of that, I think, is economic. All right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they always leave that part out. You know, I don't care where you go in the world. Wherever you go where there's poverty, you'll find crime. It may not be guns, but it'll be some form of crime because people got to survive. And if you get caught in the system, Stacey, and you can't get housing, you can't get food stamps, you can't get job placement, you can't get nothing except the underworld. And then they go, oh, man, why is all this crime? Well, I just told you why. No housing, no food stamps, no job placement. And these people act like they don't understand that concept. And to me, it's racism, really, because they're saying, without saying it, Stacey, they're saying,
"Come on through."
It must be something with being black. Like they think that is a condition of being black, and they're not looking at the economics of it. So, I still think we need gun laws in place, and we do have some. We need better ones, and we need to improve what we already have in place, like close them damn loopholes. But this particular case, which is what they want us to look at, and say, well, would it prevent it? Like you said, would this have been prevented by, you know, a gun show loophole? I don't know, man. All I know is we got to do a better job. You tell me where to start. Where can we start? And where can we compromise? Where can we come together and do something that's positive that doesn't take away your rights? Like,
it's a very nuanced conversation, and we often interject things that throw us off the actual issue. Now, in terms of, I'm all for self-defense, you know, the Huey Newton Gun Club, all right? Because, you know, here's the thing, for African Americans or Black people, however you want to phrase that, there is a need for self-defense. I mean, we do it not to cause violence. We're not going out raiding and killing white people, okay? We're not doing the midnight raids, okay? But, you know, if you come to us or you come at our people, yeah, that Second Amendment should apply to us, and we like it too. But it seems funny that we don't see the need for it. We're just reacting to what you know, is enjoyed by white citizens. We have to keep in mind, all of that was not meant for us. The Second Amendment was not meant for us. You don't see the NRA coming in when John Crawford got shot. You know, you didn't see them come in, you know, and do things with people Black.
Damn, I'm losing your audio. I think you were probably talking about Philando Castile.
So it's
I said I couldn't hear your audio broke up for a second.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Say my I guess, you know, I guess they don't like me talking to you. But but you know, it's kind of, that shows the racism that's built in the system, and how, it's very hard for a Black person, a person of color, to deal with the duality of America. They talk about freedom in America and all that. Well, there's two kinds. There's your kind and there's my kind, and I've never really experienced your kind. So it's really hard when we talk about guns. And it may sound hypocritical to some, but it's like, we will defend ours. I mean, we have that right, and we're going to use our rights and stuff, but we don't want to. It's more of a reaction from what we see coming from white America, and the threat that we're coming from that faction. We have to protect ourselves from that. So you're telling me that I shouldn't have guns and be peaceful? I can't sit there and sing "We Are Overcome" while you're killing my people. No, not going down like that.
No, and like I said, it's one of guns is one of those issues that you could talk all night about it, and at the end of the day, man, it's just tough. I mean, I'm like, being from DC, Stacey, I know people in Virginia who grew up with guns everywhere. Like, right. That's their life, man. They took gun classes. When they were in school, it was like a
right.
you know what I'm saying? And then you go to like DC and nobody can have a gun. Like, no guns. But that's where all the guns are, because that's where all the deaths are, by guns. And then you go to Maryland, and it's sort of a mix. So, because Maryland's so big, you got rural Maryland, and you got closer to Baltimore, then you got closer to DC. So it's all this mixes of cultures, not just color, culture.
But we all, I've got a drawer full of, the Rest in Peace T-shirts, and some of these, how we do in the Black community, we keep those programs in the Bible. And I was looking at my Bible, and I was like, I'm not even 60 years old, and I got, and some of them were like, I knew them when they were kids, and we're burying kids, and it was all tied to guns. So, but in the Black community, anything we talk about is not going to really address that, because a lot of the illegal guns come from illegal sales and it's not Black people getting these guns and selling them. It's white people, white buyers who are reselling them, and they're not caring. So it's a whole different issue. But I don't think anybody wants to see anybody's blood shed, no matter what the color. And we've all seen grief, and we've all seen misery, and there really isn't a pecking order for injustice. But we have to be able to stop this and stop all of these, different excuses. And it's just hard. It's heartbreaking that you get to the point where you go, yeah, but what can we do about it? And I'm tired of folks with, politicians coming up with their statements. Don't give me a statement. Give me some legislation. Do something.
Yeah. Give it up for that. Do something. Do something. Look, it's a hard discussion, but that's what we hired them to do, right? They got a job, and we gave them that job because it's a hard job. Like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, like that's why you're supposed to be there, to figure out the hard shit. It's not up to Stacey and I. We didn't get elected. Right. It's not up to us to solve the problem. There's a problem. Go fix it. You've been in Congress 30 years.
Exactly.
30 years. You can't fix this problem. Well, maybe you need to come on and bring it home. Come on, have a seat. I feel you. Watch the great grandkids. Sip some lemonade on the porch. It's all good.
Do what you got to do. Catch the early buffet at the soul food place. Do you? But because I got John Lewis, and this is a really hard conversation, because John Lewis, I appreciate everything they beat you down on Selma. They did. You took a lot of behind whippings for us, but for me, I'm a little hurt. I'm sitting on a voting rights case, a purge case, and I never heard from him. And I'm like, really, really, and it's kind of hurtful to see him turn away from the younger ones, and it's breaking hearts. But nobody will believe that, because he's beloved, and there's a good reason for him to do that. But we need to have a talk about some of our leadership. You've been there. Some people who have been there rightfully deserve to stay there. If their constituents say, yeah, they're doing good, they need to stay. But we're hearing a lot saying nah, and they're not even listening to those voices and trying to acclimate or accommodate to them. They're just like, nah, screw you, and we're going to do it this way. And it's like, okay, this is why nobody likes your ass, and then we have this.
Yeah, then we have this. I like to have an honest conversation about Bernie Sanders, as I know you're going to call me straight. You know what I mean? Because, like, right now, every time I turn around,
you would do that to me.
I got to do it, but I'm going to keep it 100 with you. You don't know what I'm going to say.
Okay.
First of all, hey, all my white people that are watching, the Root ain't even black owned. So when people say, Tim, what's up with all the black media going in on Bernie? Listen, BET ain't black. What is it? The Breakfast Club ain't black. Like, these are black faces you see in front. It's just like, you go into a fast food restaurant and you see, black people working the counter, but who owns it? Who owns it? So who runs it? So I want that to be known, because I'm tired of people saying, why do black people do this? Because they need a job, bro. They need a job, sister. That's why they do it. This is independent media right here. And that's why our audio's messed up. and all that stuff, right? That's why when Donna said, Tim, I interview with you, where's the studio? I had to tell her it's in my basement. Because that's real independent media. Their stuff look fly because somebody else own it. So on to the next thing. Bernie Sanders is not above criticism. He is not. And I understand. But here's the thing. What else you got? I want to know what else you got. Don't tell me Kamala Harris. Like, stop talking to me about prosecutors whose job was to lock black people up. Stop telling me that that's the solution, okay? Bernie Sanders, yeah, he could improve on his tone. He could work on the finessing of his language when he deals with social issues, black issues, however you want to put it. But please, don't pretend for a second that the Goldwater girl Hillary Clinton was a better option when you know damn well she wasn't. So what do you think of, what's your take on that, Stacey?
I'm going to be honest. Hillary from the beginning, and I've been very blunt about it, I never liked her ass. Okay, so I had no intention of voting for her. But, Bernie was not perfect. And this was the same dynamic that we had with Hillary and Barack Obama. Barack Obama was a little different in that we got caught up with, him being the first African or the first man of African descent, and the romanticism of all that. But even still, it came to the point who was going to be the best Democratic nominee. Doing that with Hillary and Bernie, even though Bernie came up better, Bernie was not perfect, and I did not expect him to be the savior of the black race. I don't expect that from any white person. Okay, I don't expect anyone to come save me. I expect them to be allies, to come help us, but I'm not depending on one to be a savior, and I never saw Bernie in that light. But Hillary, it was stunning because we had a revisionist history of how we look back at the Clintons, and it was stunning to see how that fell along race lines. And a lot more African Americans saw, looking back from, then, even then, I was of an age, everybody was like, oh, he's a black president. He was on Arsenio playing the saxophone. No, he really wasn't. And now that we look back with a more educated eye and a more aware self-awareness and see exactly how things played out and how it has affected us in the now. And we're saying, no, wait a minute. And people are like, no, it was really good. And you just don't know what's good for you. And, you need to listen to this. So Bernie was not perfect by any means, and we're hearing things, from the campaign as tea is being spilled in various places, that there were some things going on behind the scenes where Bernie was imperfect on race. We've all heard it. But at that time, in that moment, that was the best we had. But here's the thing. Progressives, we got to stop this. You will always be mad at Democratic candidates because they're Democratic candidates. If you want to see progressive candidates, go get you some, okay? Kamala Harris is never going to be what you want her to be. Now, if you want to spend all your time pulling and pushing someone that way, you can do that. Or you can just get a candidate that you can just run them straight on through past everybody else, get people to squat up behind them, and we're all good. And you'll be happy because you will spend the rest of your time. People will stroke out by the time we get to 2020. You ain't gonna like nobody. You're gonna be everybody the Democrats put up, you're gonna sit up there after everybody does their secret squirrel investigation of the 6 degrees of separation, of how they all come back to somebody, some sort of, we don't like that person, and we found that they took a picture eating a cookie, in 1974, so they're clearly not one of us.
Real talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna work. So, but if you want to see a real progressive candidate and you don't see one in the race, go find one. And if you can't find one, consider being that one.
Oh.
Run. You can do it. Don't let them psych you out and think you need all this. This ain't brain surgery. It really isn't. But they got people psyched out. This is a hustle, and I'm a hustler. It really is. People make you think it's really complicated. It's not that hard. The key to running a good campaign and the key to winning is organization in the ground game.
Oh man, you hit the nail on the head. Tom Perez today was defending Hillary Clinton on the Joe Madison, the Black Eagle Sirius FM show, where he said the reason why Hillary lost, in not so many words, was due to the DNC being unable to give her what she needed. It was the DNC's fault that Hillary lost. And he cited that, that they just didn't have the money. They didn't have the technology. And I'm like, Stacey, didn't Obama kill it? Like, he was killing it in 2008.
Obama knew not to give them folks that money. The DNC is like, they like the folks that'll walk out your house with a 55-inch in their sock. Don't give them no money. Where'd the money go? All of a sudden, everybody's like, well, everybody's talking about the money. And I'm like, yeah, about that. Where is the money?
Hillary spent it, $1.2 billion, $1.1 billion compared to Trump's $500 million or something like. She spent twice as much as Trump.
And you still lost.
Word. But according to Tom Perez, they just didn't do enough for her. Look, what can people just say? Look, man, we just had the wrong candidate. She just didn't have it. She went up on American Idol and she couldn't hit the notes, man. Like, that's it.
Right. We didn't like her ass. We told you that. We told you not to run her. There were people inside the party who were saying, don't run Hillary again. You let her. She strong-armed herself into that. And we got the president we deserve because of their arrogance and their, the insistence that, letting Camp Clinton run everything. Because I was in Brooklyn the week of the election. I was like, this is weird. I'm talking to people up there in Brooklyn. They're like, man, we're here in Brooklyn and we got to get permission from Brooklyn. And I was like, well, what is? I was like, what? I was like, this is crazy. Nobody was really talking to each other. Labor is usually your biggest ground force. You get labor and they usually get it out. Labor was like, man, we just doing what we want. They were basically ambushing people. And when I saw, I realized I'm high, it's not too far from oh, there goes the audio again. But it was not looking good for Clinton, and I was kind of surprised, but I did kind of like have my holy shit moment when it was like they blew that election. I mean, y'all, the Democrats, come on now, really? So, but they got to find someone to blame, and this is pathetic. It's like your kids. Who broke the vase? I did. I don't know. They did, and it wasn't none of me. And it's like, you did it. Just say it.
Yeah. Just say it. Look, they blame the blacks, they blame the browns, they blame the whites. The white women, it's just like...
No, they haven't. They haven't.
Oh, no. That's right.
People who voted in Trump. But it's everybody else's. It's us. It's uneducated white people.
That's it.
That's it.
The ones who let their husbands go in and pick their candidate. That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was.
Uneducated, now they're breaking into class, it's kind of saying, yeah, white people did it, but they're like, the cousins that we keep up in the closet, we don't bring them out much. And
Jethro, and yeah.
So, but nobody to say, yeah, but even still go. So it's kind of sad, and it doesn't pretend for a good future going into the 2018, which really, whether you're a progressive or a Democrat, there's some, it's crucial elections. We really don't need this, but, it's all on the Democrats, and they have clearly, they're doubling down, and we're saying we want to, there are people saying, because personally, I'm saying they can kick rocks. That's just me personally.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I don't know if you know anyone, excuse me, lately who got banned off Twitter or any other social media.
Charlie Peach,
she got banned off. Get up for Charlie, y'all, if she was watching.
Get your coins, girl. Get your coins.
You know it. They kicked off Angry Burner like yesterday. He had a parody account. That don't even make sense.
Yeah, Peter Douche.
Yeah, Peter Douche. That's like, I don't even know how you get upset with a parody account. But what do you think about that? What is your opinion about being able to speak on these social media platforms?
It's interesting because it was kind of a conversation that I was having on Twitter, and sometimes, with me, I have problems with the words and people get pissed off. But I think it is dangerous that, we are seeing, this is classic fascism where, people's speech is being curtailed, and we're definitely in dangerous times. And I see a need not to only build platforms, but what good is it to build a platform and still be dependent on, an ISP to deliver your content? So we have to build kind of like, like in the Matrix, Zion. We need our own form of Zion, where if they would have cut everything off, we'd be like, we good. Although I'm not trying to live underground, and I like colors and, stuff like that. If we could just work something out, but the point being is that we've got to stop complaining and making demands of, I don't want to make demands of AT&T or Comcast. Please stop screwing me so hard. No, you're not screwing me anymore, because I'm not fooling with you anymore, because I got my own stuff.
Right.
We need to start thinking in a different type of way.
That takes infrastructure. That takes money. We
got the tools. Yeah. We got the technology. Don't tell me we ain't got the money. We sent a whole lot to Bernie. And, I really take issue with that as an activist and an organizer. Some of us is out here struggling, and I'm not caping up for me, but a lot of people out there, if someone tells me we ain't got no money, my mother had an expression called cowboy shit. I will knock the cowboy shit out your mouth, because you're lying. I saw that money you spent on them conventions. Y'all went to DC and bought pussy hats. Y'all sent Bernie, y'all sending all these candidates money. Do not tell us you ain't got no money, because those little $10 adds up. And if we start thinking in that, pick 5 candidates and send them $5 a month. That's, and quantify that. That's money. Yeah. You don't need big ballers. Those little dollars, they're trying to figure out how to get your money. They're like, yeah, how did they do that? And it's like, yeah, get a candidate we believe in and don't screw them over.
Recently, there was a lady who flipped off Donald Trump, President Trump, number 45. Call him 45, Tim. Go ahead.
No, that's my girl. She's the best person of the day, but it sucks she got fired.
They fired her, yeah. They she was on her own time, obviously. She riding her bike on the bike trail or whatever, and she saw the motorcade and she felt something come over. Do you think they're going too far with this? Like, they'll fire you for giving someone the finger off the clock? Yes.
That's definitely, when have you never passed someone and just said, yeah, you deserve this? And I think that in the moment she was feeling something, she has that right, Donald Trump needs to get used to this. There's a lot of people don't like your ass either. And I might throw a shoe at you if I see you. I mean, real talk. But watch. Stacey was arrested yesterday. Did you hear? But, I mean, if you can't do that in the United States of America, what the hell do we stand for? Mm-hmm. And if we're going to start doing this, then okay. But, don't come to me with you're talking about freedom and liberty and all of that, because, I mean, the lady lost her job and she has no protections under that. But on the flip side, girl, you didn't need that job. And something tells me you're going to come up after this. So go get your coins, girl. Yeah. I think life was looking up for you.
Yeah, I think she's going to be just fine, sis. I think she going to land on her feet, so to speak. That's bad though. You can't own your own fingers. Women can't own their own bodies, right? They try to take away pro-choice. It's crazy, man. You can't kneel at the football game if you want. I mean, this is just. But you can own guns though.
Yeah, you can. You really can. You can own guns. Look, we should register them to vote and everything. I mean, we'll just give them full personage. I mean, this is madness. So it's very difficult for me. And, people who know me, I will black out on you on Twitter in a minute. Don't come acting stupid on my page. But I can't have certain conversations because they're based in hypocrisy and sheer illogic. I'm not going to sit up here and argue about certain things if it's just, it makes no sense. I mean, why are we doing some of the things that we're doing? But in this time of chaos, there is an opportunity to start creating and building and start doing things. If we're going to do new things, we can't do it old ways with old people. And them
old people won't get out the way, though, Stacey. They want to keep their jobs. They got addicted to the power that they wield in these positions. They don't believe in fresh blood coming in. Look at Nancy. Nancy going on 40 years in Congress, man. I heard back in the 80s.
She was old when I was coming up. I mean, let's be real.
I heard back in the 80s she was progressive. That's a long time ago. That money done penetrated and caused her to lose her damn mind. She don't even have an opinion about these issues that we talk about. I saw an interview where I don't have anything to say about Donna Brazile's comment. We got to look forward. We don't care about what happened last year.
Nothing to see here. Keep it moving. Nothing to see here.
I'm telling you.
I mean, that's the problem. People come in, but here's the flip side of it. You come in and you're bright-eyed and you're bushy-tailed. I'm going to change the world. And you come in and you see all of this. And, here in Georgia, we have a theory. We say you do 2 cycles and then you turn. Because you get tired of trying to be, you are always the, David fighting the Goliath. And when you don't have the people behind you and you really see how things work and you start getting jaded, and when they start coming with that money and you're sitting up there, you've got a nice little nameplate and a parking space and you work in a dope dome and you're broke. And when they start sliding that money, you say, well, I'll just take a little bit and nobody sees it. And then it gets easier and it gets easier and it gets easier. And then they're full-blown dark side. And on the flip, you get tired of it. And you get tired of seeing the folks who don't do shit. The folks who never win a race. The folks who are always doing the greasiest stuff come up. And then people go, well, they turn. Well, they were trying to get y'all and y'all weren't there. And
what? I hear that. Oh my goodness. Woman, you just don't know how much you hold on, man. Hold on, man. As somebody who gets a lot of criticism, I don't care what I do. If I sneeze, he shouldn't be sneezing. That's wrong to be sneezing. If I drink a sip of water, I don't know why he's drinking a sip. Everything is always some type of complaint. It's just crazy, and then people don't realize it. You're right, Stacey. It wears on you. It's just slowly, just I think Bill Burr, a comedian I love, he said it's like the waves hitting the side of the mountain.
Yeah.
And it just slowly like peels away.
And it erodes you down to a nub, and you get so tired, and then you just go, why do I bother with this? And that's how you end up with those bad people. So when you find good people, you need to let them know, I got you. And you need to show them that. When they say, I need a couple of dollars because I'm trying to do this, believe them and don't sit up there. Well, I heard you bought this, and was that my money you were spending or your money? I mean, sometimes it gets ridiculous, and people they go, we want a leader, and it's like, no, you don't. Who signs up for this? So we got to make up our minds what we want, because we have a lot of good people out there, but we can't do this to people because we have tuned them up, and we got people. We've got folks. This is no joking matter. We got organizers out here. We got mental illness. We got substance abuse. We've got housing instability, medical issues. And people are like getting suicidal and killing themselves. I mean, the struggle is real. And these are people who, they just do it. You have a good organizer or a good activist or just a good person when you ask them, why do you do this? And they can't answer you. When they say, I don't know, I just have to do it, those are the people you want to rock with, because that's ride or die. They don't know why they do it. They feel compelled. Mm-hmm. If anyone tells you, well, if they're in it for the ego or the money or the political ambitions, whatever, that's okay. You go do you, but stay the hell out my way, because you're not in it for the same thing for me.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to do this, you need ride or dies. And ride or dies have certain skill sets.
Wow.
Look for those skill sets.
Wow, man. Look, you hit the nail on the head, and I agree with you 100%. Anybody who has to brag about their activism shouldn't be doing any activism. Like whenever I do activism, any type of, whether when I was feeding homeless people, when I was helping people clean up their communities, whatever I was doing, I never felt like I was something to brag about. I always felt like I didn't do enough, man. That's right. The way activists feel. Activists come back and they feel like, gosh, man, we're just barely scratching the surface. I had a friend on the show who was in Puerto Rico during the time of the hurricane. And though they had done stuff, she felt defeated because it's just so much devastation. That's how you're supposed to feel. That means you woke because you realize, hey, you just one person doing what you can, and you just know it's never going to be enough. You don't come back with your chest all out. Where's everybody else been? Look what I've been doing. I'm an activist. That to me is a sign of someone who's in it for the wrong reasons. And I think you need to work on that, whoever those people are. And if you think I'm talking about you, I probably am talking about you, because you know what you're doing.
We just say it. I mean, but the biggest payback when someone looks and says thank you, for doing something that was very simple, something that may have not taken much out of your day. Mm-hmm. And when it means something to somebody and they tell you, or they come to you and say, you did this for me, and I just want you to know this really, really brought me comfort. It saved my life. Man, if it's just one person, you change the world, and you are a rock star. So people need to lower their expectations. No, you didn't save the world. You saved a kid in your neighborhood. You saved your block. And you know what? Rock with that. You did good. And well, I didn't get to do this. You do feel bad, because I gotta admit, I do that too. I wish I could have done more, but you do have to sit there and just sit back and go, but look what I did do. Yeah. And then I ask for nothing for people I help. You do the same thing for somebody else that I did for you. Just do something nice. Be a good person. Smile. Just smoke a blunt. Do whatever. Hey. Have a drink. Do whatever you need to do. Mm-hmm. But this is part of this is, if you're going through this whole thing called life and you're not enjoying living, you're wasting it. And I don't care if you're religious or not, that offends the shit out of somebody somewhere. Mm-hmm. So, You got to live life, and a lot of this stuff is really easy. We wouldn't need laws if 99.9% of people would just act right. You don't like laws, you don't like regulations, just do the right thing. Next question. I mean, I could. It's just amazing to see some of the discussions we have, and it can be distilled to a very simple thing. Is it right? Is it just? Is it fair? Does it do harm? If you can check one of those boxes, don't do that shit. Think of something else.
I love it, man. So spot on, man. So real. Like, Stacey, look, we're right on time. Look, Stacey, tell people where to go to follow you and to get more information about your activism and your political strategies that you offer political candidates who want to win in Georgia.
Well, we'll be launching that probably in January. I'll have something a little bit more official on that. I'm getting that ready, but you can follow me on Facebook, Stacey Hopkins, Georgia, I believe I am. Or, Stacey Hopkins, ATL, and then Stacey Hopkins, Georgia, GA on Twitter. And I'm very nice, but however you come at me, I come back at you. So I'm just putting that out there.
That's real people talk, man. So, Stacey, man, I've seriously enjoyed this conversation. You are everything. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Tim.
Amazing.
Peace.
All right, guys. Peace, sister. Hey, guys, tomorrow, who's going to be on this? Somebody's going to be here tomorrow. We got to keep it moving, man. You know me, man. I'm bringing as many people on the show as humanly possible. Give me a second because I want to shout that out real quick. I don't want to get the name wrong. And it's my bad. I should have had that ready. Let's see. Tomorrow is Tuesday. See, I even forget what day it is. Oh, tomorrow's election day. I got nobody. I got nobody tomorrow. It's okay. But look, anyway, guys, go to TimBlackTV.com. This show is brought to you by us. Not big money interests. We ain't got no big donors. It's not GOP funded or DNC funded. It's people funded by people like you. So find me at TimBlackTV.com and on Patreon at Tim's Take Live. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Tim Black.
Excellent show. Killer. You the best. I knew it.
Yes, I am.
You know it.
True.
Amazing.
Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one. This was a blast. Go follow Stacey Hopkins at Stacey with an E, Hopkins, GA on Twitter and Facebook. You'll find her. She's amazing. Don't let nobody take your cornbread.